Right then, Forest faithful. Something massive is happening at the City Ground, and I need to tell you everything. What I'm about to share will shock you, anger you, and possibly leave you questioning everything about where our beloved club is heading. We've got 5 explosive stories that have emerged over the past 48 hours, each one more dramatic than the last. There's a gaffer who's publicly fallen out with our owner. There's talk of managerial replacements that'll make your head spin. There's a $15 million signing battle happening right under our noses, and predictions for tomorrow's match that could change everything. But here's what's got me absolutely fuming, right? The timing of all this. We're back in Europe after 30 bloody years, and instead of celebrating, we're dealing with internal warfare that threatens to tear apart everything we've built. Now, I need to ask you something, and I want honest answers in the comments. Do you think a manager should ever publicly criticize the owner? Because what happened on Friday crossed every line imaginable. Before I reveal who said what and which legendary managers are being lined up to replace him, I need you to hit that like button and tell me in the comments what you think should happen next. Cause trust me, by the time I finish telling you these 5 stories, your opinion on our club's future might completely change. The first revelation involves our Portuguese gaffer and words that should never have been spoken in public. Words that have left Evangelos Marinakis absolutely baffled and potentially triggered a chain of events that could see everything change before Sunday's kickoff. He's been our savior, the man who dragged us from 17th place to European football in just 1 season. But what happened on Friday has left everyone at the City Ground in complete shock. I'm talking about Nuno Espirito Santo and the bombshell press conference that's got the entire football world talking. Picture this, right? You're preparing for a massive match against Crystal Palace back in Europe for the first time in 3 decades, and your manager decides to publicly destroy his relationship with the owner. That's exactly what happened when Nuno told assembled reporters that his relationship with Evangelos Marinakis has changed and is not what it used to be. The Portuguese didn't hold back, admitting there's no smoke without fire when asked about reports he could be sacked. He revealed that last season he spoke with Marinakis almost on a daily basis, but this season, not so well. The most damaging part? He openly stated their relationship was once based on trust and sharing opinions, and now it's not so good. What's fascinating is how this all started. Remember that heated moment after our 2-2 draw with Leicester last season, when Marinakis stormed onto the pitch to confront Nuno. Everyone thought it was about Taiwo Awoniyi's injury, but maybe there was more brewing beneath the surface. The real catalyst seems to be our new appointment of Edu Gaspar as global head of football. Sources suggest Nuno's having a difficult relationship with the former Arsenal man, who's now overseeing recruitment across Marinakis' entire empire: Forest, Olympiacos, and Rio Ave. Sky Sports reporter Rob Dorset claims Marinakis is baffled by Nuno's comments and had no intention of sacking him. But here's the kicker. Nuno's public outburst has left people close to the club questioning his commitment and wondering if he's actually trying to get himself sacked. The irony. We've just spent almost $100 million bringing in James McAtee, Omari Hutchinson, Arnaud Kalimuendo, and Douglas Luiz. But apparently that wasn't enough for our manager, so here's my question for you. Should a manager ever air dirty laundry in public like this? Was Nuno right to speak his mind? Or has he just handed our rivals the perfect ammunition? Comment below and let me know, because what comes next is even more explosive. If you thought Nuno's public meltdown was shocking, wait until you hear who's being lined up to potentially replace him. This name will either excite you beyond belief or terrify you to your core. We're talking about Jose Mourinho. Yes, the special one himself, being mentioned as a possible candidate for the City Ground hot seat. The Sun has reported that the 62-year-old Portuguese legend, currently managing Fenerbahce in Turkey, has been added to Forest's shortlist of potential replacements. This is the same man who won 3 Premier League titles with Chelsea, conquered Europe multiple times, and has never been shy about speaking his mind. Think about the madness of this situation for a moment. We could go from one Portuguese manager with a reputation for being outspoken to another Portuguese manager who literally invented being outspoken. Mourinho doesn't just speak his mind, he weaponizes his thoughts and launches them at anyone who crosses him. The report suggests that Marinakis' ambition matches Mourinho's trophy-winning mentality. After all, our Greek owner has spent millions transforming Forest back into a Premier League force. And who better than a serial winner to take us to the next level? But here's where it gets interesting. The same report warns that if managerial harmony is what the regime seeks at the City ground, then Mourinho seems a bold choice. They're not wrong, are they? This is a man who's fallen out with players, owners, and entire fan bases throughout his career. Just imagine Mourinho's first press conference at the City ground. I am not the ordinary one. I am not the chosen one. I am the special one. And Nottingham Forest will be special again. You can practically hear it, can you? The tactical transformation would be immediate. Mourinho's pragmatic defensive style is completely different from Nuno's approach. We'd probably see Chris Wood dropping deeper, our wingers tracking back religiously, and every match becoming a chess game rather than an attacking exhibition. But there's another side to consider. Mourinho's last Premier League stint ended in disaster at Tottenham. His relationship with players deteriorated, results suffered, and he was sacked before a cup final. Do we really want that potential chaos at our club? The timing is crucial too. Mourinho's currently tied up with Fenerbahce fighting for European qualification. Would he abandon that project for us? And more importantly, would his arrival guarantee success or just guarantee drama? Here's what I want to know from you lot. Would you welcome Mourinho with open arms, or would you prefer someone with less baggage but potentially less silverware? The next story gets even more intriguing, so don't go anywhere. While all the managerial chaos dominates headlines, there's serious business happening behind the scenes that could transform our midfield for years to come. And we're apparently winning a battle that few saw coming. The player everyone's talking about is Sungutu Magasa. The 21-year-old is Monaco midfielder who's got Premier League clubs scrapping for his signature. According to Foot Mercado, we've submitted a $15 million bid for the French youth international, and here's the beautiful part. We're beating West Ham to the punch. The Hammers had a $16.5 million package rejected by Monaco, but our more structured offer of €17 million up front has caught the French club's attention. What makes this signing fascinating is the timing and the strategy. While everyone's focused on Nuno's future, our recruitment team is quietly identifying the next generation of talent. Magasa isn't just another signing. He's exactly the type of player who could define our European ambitions. The lad's got everything you want in a modern midfielder. He's technically gifted, physically imposing at 6 feet tall, and has that rare combination of defensive awareness and attacking instinct that's so hard to find. Monaco developed him through their academy, the same system that produced Kylian Mbappe, Thierry Henry, and countless other world-class talents. But here's where it gets complicated. Nuno specifically mentioned needing goalkeepers and fullbacks in his press conference, not midfielders. We've already got Douglas Luiz, Ibrahima Sangare, Ryan Yates, Elliot Anderson, and Nicolas Dominguez when he returns from injury. That's potentially 6 players competing for 2 positions. Some might argue this signing proves the disconnect between manager and recruitment team. Is this Edu's influence showing? Are we signing players for the current system or for whoever might replace Nuno? The financial aspect is interesting too. After spending almost $100 million already this summer, another $15 million represents significant investment. Monaco needs to balance their books after their own spending spree, which gives us leverage in negotiations. What's telling is how we've structured the deal differently from West Ham. While they offered more total money, we've put more up front, showing Monaco we're serious about completing the transfer quickly. It's smart negotiating that suggests our new recruitment structure is already making an impact. The real question is whether Magasa fits our immediate needs or whether this is planning for a different tactical future. Under Nuno, he'd likely rotate with existing options. Under a new manager, he could become central to everything we do. For a 21-year-old with Champions League experience and French youth caps, $15 million could prove to be incredible business, but timing is everything in football, and signing him during this managerial uncertainty adds another layer of complexity. What do you think? Is this the kind of forward-thinking recruitment that'll keep us competitive, or are we buying players for a system that might not exist in 2 weeks? The final story will blow your mind. Forget everything you think you know about our managerial situation, because the name that's emerged as our #1 target will change how you see this entire crisis. Brendan Rodgers. The current Celtic manager, who's won everything in Scotland and nearly delivered the Premier League title to Liverpool, is reportedly Evangelos Marinakis' top choice to replace Nuno. According to the Sun's Alan Nixon, Marinakis has had his sights on the 52-year-old Northern Irishman for months. This isn't a panic reaction to Friday's press conference drama. This is calculated long-term planning that suggests our owner was already considering alternatives. Think about the profile of manager this represents. Rodgers isn't just successful, he's sophisticated. His Liverpool side played the most attractive football the Premier League had seen in years, missing the title by just 2 points in 2014. His Leicester City team won the FA Cup and consistently punched above their weight in Europe. The timing could be perfect for both parties. Rodgers is in the final year of his Celtic contract, and he's walked away from Parkhead before when the right opportunity arose. If compensation needs paying, that won't be an issue for Marinakis. But here's what makes this appointment potentially brilliant. Rodgers understands what it means to manage a club with European aspirations while maintaining domestic consistency. At Celtic, he's dealt with Champions League nights and Scottish League dominance. At Leicester, he balanced Europa League campaigns with Premier League survival battles. His tactical flexibility would suit our squad perfectly. Unlike Mourinho's rigid pragmatism, Rodgers adapts his system to his players' strengths. Chris Wood would thrive in his direct attacking approach, while players like Elliot Anderson and Morgan Gibbs-White would flourish in his creative possession-based system. The European factor cannot be understated. We're back in continental competition for the first time in 30 years, and we need someone who understands the demands of playing Thursday, Sunday every week. Rodgers has managed in the Champions League, Europa League, and Conference League. He knows exactly what's required. There's another strategic element here. Celtic have a massive Champions League qualifier against Kairat in Kazakhstan this week. If they fail to qualify and miss out on key signings, Rodgers' exit becomes much easier to facilitate. It's almost like the football gods are aligned in our interests. Compare this to the Ange Postecoglou links floating around. While the Australian did brilliantly at Celtic, Rodgers represents proven Premier League quality with international experience and a track record of developing young talent. The question is whether Rodgers would want us. He's got Champions League football potentially at Celtic, complete control over transfers, and a fan base that worships him. Would he swap that security for our current chaos? But maybe that's exactly why this could work. Rodgers loves a project, loves proving doubters wrong, and loves building something special. Taking Forest from European qualification to European success would cement his reputation as one of Britain's finest managers. The financial package wouldn't be an issue. Marinakis has shown he'll back his managers in the transfer market. The infrastructure is there, the fan base is passionate, and the potential is limitless. What do you think, Forest fans? Is Brendan Rodgers the man to take us to the next level, or should we be looking elsewhere? Because what happens next could define our next decade. After 5 days of absolute chaos, drama, and speculation, we've still got a bloody football match to play. Crystal Palace away, 2 p.m. kickoff Sunday, and the predictions surrounding this fixture are as wild as everything else happening at our club. The most intriguing prediction involves Douglas Luiz, our $15 million Brazilian signing who arrived just days ago from Aston Villa. Despite all the excitement surrounding his arrival, most experts believe he won't start against Palace. Think about it logically. The man's had 2 training sessions with his new teammates, needs time to understand Nuno's system, and we've got Elliot Anderson and Ibrahima Sangare coming off brilliant performances against Brentford. Throwing Luiz straight into a crucial away fixture could backfire spectacularly. But here's what's fascinating about Anderson's situation. The young midfielder has gone from Newcastle reject to England call-up candidate in 1 week. His performance against Brentford was so impressive that pundits are already suggesting Thomas Tuchel should be watching him closely. The pressure's on him to prove that wasn't just a flash in the pan. The tactical prediction that's got everyone talking involves the goal expectation, or lack thereof. Historically, Forest versus Palace games are dreadful for goals. Last season's fixtures produced just 3 goals combined, and you have to go back to 2012 to find either team scoring more than once against each other. Palace's recent loss of Eberike Eze to Arsenal hasn't helped their attacking threat either. They looked solid defensively against Chelsea, but created virtually nothing going forward. Meanwhile, we managed 3 against Brentford, but face a much more organized defensive unit at Selhurst Park. The psychological element cannot be ignored. Our players will know about the managerial speculation, the owner tensions, and the media circus surrounding the club. Chris Wood said the squad isn't bothered by the drama, but can you really ignore Sky Sports suggesting your manager might be gone by full time? There's also the European factor weighing on minds. This isn't just another Premier League fixture. It's our first competitive match as a European club in 3 decades. The pressure to perform to justify our 7th place finish last season adds another layer of complexity. The prediction that intrigues me most is the clean sheet requirement. If we're going to win this match, most experts believe it'll need to be 1-0 or 2-0, built on defensive solidity rather than attacking brilliance. That would suit Nuno's preferred approach, assuming he's still trying to implement it despite everything happening around him. But here's my concern. What happens if we lose? What happens if the managerial uncertainty affects our performance and we stumble at the first hurdle of what should be a celebration season? Does that accelerate Nuno's departure and throw our European campaign into immediate chaos? Conversely, what if we win convincingly? Does a brilliant performance save Nuno's job and force Marinakis to reconsider his apparent desire for change? Football has a funny way of making all the noise disappear when results go your way. The atmosphere at Selhurst Park will be intense anyway. Palace fans still remember how we pipped them to European qualification. Add our traveling support, desperate to celebrate being back among Europe's elite, and you've got the recipe for something special. So here's what I think happens. We'll see a cagey, nervous first half with both teams feeling each other out. Anderson will try to reproduce his Brentford magic, but struggle against more organized opposition. Douglas Luiz will get 20-30 minutes as a substitute to ease him into Premier League football. The result? I'm backing a 1-1 draw that pleases nobody, but keeps everyone guessing about what comes next. But what do you think? Will the drama affect our performance, or will it galvanize the team for something special? Hit that like button. Tell me your predictions in the comments, and make sure you subscribe because this story is far from over. Because after everything I've told you today, one question remains: what does all this chaos tell us about who we are as a football club? Are we a stable, ambitious project ready for European success? Or are we still the same old Forest creating drama when we should be celebrating? Your thoughts in the comments below. And I promise you, whatever happens on Sunday, there'll be plenty more to discuss next week. This is just the beginning of what could be the most important season in our recent history. Forest till I die. See you next time.